Welcome in this lecture of quantum mechanics. In this lecture, it will be discussed about expectation values of dynamical variables. And this topic will be discussed from the textbook Quantum Mechanics, a textbook for undergraduates by M.C. Jain. Now, let us start the discussion. We have seen that in quantum mechanics, a particle is represented by a wave function which can be obtained by solving the Schrodinger equation and contains all the available information about the particle. We have already discussed about the wave function psi rt in our earlier lectures, and this wave function can be obtained by solving Schrodinger equation. We have also discussed about the Schrodinger equation in earlier lectures. So, the wave function can be obtained from the Schrodinger equation, and this wave function contains all the available information about the particle. Now, we shall see that how information concerning the dynamical variables of the particle can be extracted from the wave function psi. We already told that psi contains the available information. But how to extract that available information from the wave function psi? That we will discuss. Since psi has a probabilistic interpretation, we have also discussed about this fact in earlier lectures regarding the statistical interpretation or probabilistic interpretation of the wave function. It turns out that exact information about the variables cannot be obtained as psi is interpreted statistically or psi has a probabilistic interpretation. So, exact information about the variables cannot be obtained from psi. Instead, we obtain only the expectation value of a quantity. So, we cannot obtain the exact information, rather what we obtain is the expectation value of a quantity. Now, what is expectation value? Expectation value is the average value of the measurements of the quantity performed on a very large number of independent identical systems represented by the wave function psi. We have to understand clearly about this statement. Suppose the wave function psi that represents a large number of independent but identical systems. You see again that psi represents a large number of independent and identical systems. Now, what we are doing actually, we are measuring the quantity. We are going to measure expectation value of a particular quantity. This quantity may be position, this quantity may be momentum, this quantity may be energy. So whatever it is, but what we are doing actually, we are measuring the value of the quantity. How we are measuring? We are measuring in this way, that is psi represents a large number of independent but identical systems, and we are measuring the value of the quantity for this large number of identical systems. So after measuring, we can estimate the average value. So this average value is the expectation value of a quantity. This statement can be represented in different way also. It is the average, that is expectation value is the average of a large number of measurements on the same system. That is, instead of considering large number of identical systems, we are considering a single system. But what we are doing in this case, that is, we are performing large number of measurements on the same system. So after performing large number of measurements on the same system, again we can obtain the average value. So this average value will be the expectation value. So expectation value can be represented by two different statements. The first thing is that psi will represent large number of identical systems. So they will give us large number of values and we have to make the average, and this will give the expectation value. Or equivalently, the system is same but we are performing large number of measurements on the same system. So after performing the large number of measurements on the same system, again we can estimate the average value, and this average value will be the expectation value. First, let us consider the measurement of the position of the particle. Since probability PRT, probability is a function of position and time, that is why P is a function of RT. PRT is equal to psi star RT into psi RT. We know this in our earlier lectures. We have already discussed about the probability. So PRT is equal to psi star into psi. And probability is interpreted as the position probability density at the point R at the time t. So PRT is interpreted as the position probability density at the point R at the time t. The expectation value of the position vector R is given by, so if the significance of the probability is this one, that is, it will interpret the position probability density at the point R at the time t. In that case, the expectation value of the position vector R is given by R is equal to integration R PRT dr. So again you see the statement, if probability PRT is interpreted as the position probability density at the point R at the time t, then expectation value of the position R can be estimated by R is equal to integration R PRT dr. So if PRT is equal to psi star into psi, then this integration turns out to be psi star R psi dr. So here two things to be noted. The first thing is that we have written R in between of psi star and psi. It will be clear later, that is why it is so. And the second fact is that this psi RT should be normalized. Here the function psi which has been used, so that psi is normalized. This equation is equivalent to the 3 equation because as this is the vector R, so we can express this equation in this fashion also, that is, average value of x will be psi star x into psi dr, average value of y will be psi star y into psi into dr, average value of z will be psi star z into psi into dr. Now the expectation value is a function only of the time, because the space coordinates have been integrated out. You see the expression, that is, the integration is performed in terms of the space coordinate. So after the integration, these space coordinates will be integrated out. So expectation value will be ultimately the function of only time. Further, the expectation value of a physical quantity is always real. We have to keep in mind that as we are measuring something, so after the measurements we are obtaining the expectation value. So the expectation value of a physical quantity is always real. Note the order of the factors in the integrand. The vector r has been sandwiched between psi star on the left and psi on the right. I already told you the fact that the expectation value, suppose here z or y or x, they have been sandwiched between psi star and psi. Psi star is on the left side and psi is on the right side. So I will make you clear later, that is why it is so. So the expectation value of any quantity which is a function of r and t would be frt is equal to integration psi star frt psi into dr. So this is the general way to represent expectation value of any quantity such as frt. As an example, the expectation value of the potential energy is V. Expectation value of the potential energy is V is equal to integration psi star RT V psi RT dr. We have kept V in the middle of psi star and psi. Let us now see how to obtain the expectation values for quantities which are functions of momentum or both position and momentum. So again you see the sentence, that is, we are going to obtain the expectation values for quantities which are functions of what? They are functions of either momentum or both position and momentum. The most important example of the latter category, that means which is a function of both position and momentum, is energy. We assume that for this purpose it is possible to use the operator representations P cap is equal to minus I h cut del. We have already learned about the operator representation of the momentum. This is in 3 dimension. So we have used the del operator. P cap is equal to minus I h cut del. So P square will be minus h cut square into del square. We also know that E cap is equal to I h cut del del t. The question then that arises is how these differential operators are to be combined with the position probability density psi star psi to obtain the desired expressions. This question is answered by using the classical expression for the energy. We know the classical expression for energy. What is the expression? That is E equal to P square by 2m plus V, that is total energy, is equal to kinetic energy plus potential energy. In accordance to the correspondence principle, this equation should satisfy with their operator representation. So if E is in the left side, here we will write E in operator representation E. Similarly, P square by 2m we will write in the operator representation, and potential energy we will also write that in operator representation. And we also know the operator of E, P. So after using the operator representation, we are obtaining this equation. That is, here we are using I h cut del del t in place of E. Here we have used minus h cut square by 2m del square plus V. This is the operator representation. Now, this equation must be consistent with the Schrodinger equation, because we know if this is the classical equation of the energy, so in quantum mechanics that equation is the Schrodinger equation. We have already discussed about this fact in earlier lectures. So this equation should be consistent with the Schrodinger equation. I h cut del psi by del t equal to minus h cut square del square by 2m into psi plus v psi. This one is the Schrodinger equation. Now multiplying by psi star on the left and integrating, we obtain this one. We are multiplying by psi star on the left side, then we are integrating. So we have to keep this sentence very clearly. Multiplying psi star on the left, so this becomes psi star I h cut del del t psi dr. This left hand side becomes this one. Similarly, the right hand side becomes this one. but we have to note that psi star should be multiplied from the left side. Now look at this last term. This last term on the right hand side is simply V, that is expectation value of V. We have already defined that, how to define the expectation value. So the last term is expectation value of V. Now you note the equation 6.38 and 6.39 again. This equation should be consistent according to the correspondence principle. So these equations are same. Now if the last term, that is this last term, represents the expectation value of V, that is this one, then the term on the left hand side means this term, and the first term of the right hand side, so they should also represent some expectation value. You see that expectation value is defined in the general case with the operator acting on psi and multiplying by psi star on the left. So comparing these two equations, that is 6.38 and 6.39, what we can say that if this one is the expectation value of the potential energy V, then this one should be the expectation value of E. So expectation value of E means this is psi star I square delta T into psi. This should be expectation value of E, and this one should be the expectation value of the potential energy. We can write that is expectation value of P. Here we are not writing in terms of P square, but we are writing in terms of P. So P is psi star minus I square grad psi into dr. This is from the comparison of the equation 6.38 and 6.39. So what is the results of this conclusion? The results of the concluding part is that when we are going to evaluate the expectation value, we have to multiply psi star from the left. So this quantity should be sandwiched in between psi star and psi. So we have to keep in mind about the fact. So the last equation is equivalent, that is it is in 3 dimension, but if you write this equation in 1 dimensional form, then Px should be minus I squared psi star del psi by del x dr. Py should be minus I squared psi star del psi by del y dr. Pz equal to minus I squared psi star del psi by del z into dr. Generalizing the above results, we are led to the following postulate. Suppose the dynamical state of a particle is described by the normalized wave function psi. The dynamical state of a particle is described by the normalized wave function psi. So psi is a normalized wave function which is representing the dynamical state of a particle. Let A be a dynamical variable representing a physical quantity associated with the particle. A is a variable which can be any quantity, and you see that A is a function of position, momentum and time. We obtain the operator A cap. How to obtain the operator? You have to transform the P as it is operator representation. That is, we are writing minus I squared del in place of P when we will evaluate the operator A cap of A. Then we can calculate the expectation value of A from the expression, that is expectation value of A is equal to integration psi star. We are writing psi star from the left as per rule, and we are writing A cap in the middle, but it is in operator form. It should be in the operator form, and then psi into dr. So we have to that is keep in mind about the formula of the expectation value of A. This thing you again note that when we are going to calculate the expectation value of A, we have to integrate. How we will integrate? We have to write psi star in the left, then we are writing the operator representation of A, that is A cap, then psi, then dr. So this is the formula to calculate the expectation value. Since the expectation value of a physical quantity is always real, we have to keep in mind about this fact, that is expectation value of a physical quantity should be always real, that is A star equal to A. It follows that the operator A cap must satisfy, you see that psi star A cap psi into dr is equal to A cap psi star psi into dr. You see that, because why we can write, because A cap star equal to A. We have to remind this fact. A cap star equal to A star equal to A. That is why we can write this equation. But as we can write this equation, if you look at the left side and right side, you see the left side psi star A cap, and here A cap psi star. So from this fact, we can say that the operator associated with the dynamical quantity must be Hermitian. Actually, this is the condition for the Hermitian operator. Psi star A cap psi dr is equal to A cap psi star psi dr. So, the operator associated with a dynamical quantity must be Hermitian in nature. So, this is the end of the lecture. Thank you all for listening this.